You know, I absolutely love when comedians take dramatic or serious roles in movies that maybe do have elements of comedy in them, but are mostly nothing like their usual selves. It's when a funny person steps out of a craft they've completely mastered, and then steps into unknown territory and own it. Just take Robin Williams, who gives a compelling and emotional performance in Good Will Hunting, or Will Ferrell in Stranger Than Fiction, Bill Murray in Groundhog Day, Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems. These are men who are total goofballs but can transform themselves into completely different people, completely opposite from their humorous talents, and none other than the ultimate goofball himself, Jim Carrey, does exactly that in the classic that is The Truman Show. Growing up, if I were to watch a movie with Jim Carrey in it, it'd be the typical movies like Dumb and Dumber, Liar Liar, Ace Ventura, Bruce Almighty, The Mask, etc. But it wasn't until my early 20s that I decided to look deeper into his career and search for movies that I may have missed out on. And then I would go on to watch movies that are arguably not as popular as the movies I mentioned, such as Man on the Moon, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, The Number 23, and The Majestic. And to put it very dramatically and very corny, these are movies that really spoke to me and I related to them a lot. Even more than its funny stuff, especially Eternal Sunshine. I saw myself a lot in that movie, something that I could take and feel less alone with because I related to it a lot, and I like that Carrey went into that kind of character. And I felt like these kind of movies had a lot more substance to them, and I like when a movie does that to me, making me feel something deep other than just laughing at brainless comedy. Don't get me wrong, Carrey is a master at comedy, especially physical comedy. But man, there's something deep when I watch these movies. It's pretty cool. And when I watch The Truman Show, what it really does is make me get a full-blown existential crisis and have many sleepless nights. But that's okay, because this movie is weird, out there, unique, in a good way. Truman Burbank is the main character of this movie and the main character of The Truman Show. He wakes up, greets the neighbors, starts his day, and goes back to bed, doing it all over again the next day. Except Truman is pretty happy, and he enjoys living in this sleepy, quiet, well-mannered, and totally normal and very real town, and he's okay with it. For now. You see, Truman is in a TV show that is secretly recording him, and it's viewed by millions of people around the world, and all of these people who come into contact with him every day are all actors. From the neighbors, his wife, friend, and everybody else. They're all in on it. Except Truman himself. And to top it off, the town is inside a huge dome with the creator of The Truman Show looking at his life from this fake moon in the sky and enjoying every second of it. It's a pretty heavy concept to think about. The thought of your life being a total lie and that the people around you, from your mother, father, siblings, friends, wife, husband, and just the people walking around your neighborhood or town, all pretending just for you. You're the main character. You're the protagonist. And yes, there is a form of schizophrenia called the Truman Show delusion, named after this movie, so you know, if you're having any strange beliefs that you're in a TV show, consult your doctor. Well, unless they're an actor too. Heavy stuff. So yeah, this is the Truman Show. So Truman Burbank is content and well-mannered, just like the town. But like I said, it's all a lie, and you'll soon see cracks show with examples like a light falling from the sky, smashing onto the ground in front of Truman, or when the artificial rain pours in just one spot, or when he gets onto a bus hoping to leave for Fiji. But of course, the bus has problems and won't start. It's all very strange, but not enough to make him question too deeply just yet. His wife also acts very out of place at times too, literally going into ad mode during a conversation, which reminds me of how YouTubers will, they'll be talking about a subject, and before you know it, they're going on about Skillshare. Same kind of deal here, except it's face to face. So just imagine your girl holding up some product and talking like they do in ads. It'd be pretty strange. So yeah, this world is odd. And Truman gradually sees the cracks show, even seeing an entire crew at his work with cameras. Or when he spots his father in the middle of the street, which is also completely out of place as he died in a boating accident when Truman was very young. So I guess you could say they kill the character off. And this accident makes sense because it makes Truman afraid of the water, so if he ever wants to leave the town, he will have to, take the bus that won't start or go on a boat, and he just won't because he's scared of water thanks to the boating accident. So it's kind of genius, I guess. And so he continues to live his life, but, he just feels like something ain't right. And we actually do see the director and other staff members inside the moon from time to time, and they'll watch him sleep, eat, and probably engage in sexual activities too with his wife or even on his own. I mean, hey, it's a valid thought. Does he get any privacy at all? I mean, they do say 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so most likely, no. And kids are watching too. One of them even spots him on the bus at one point and gets excited. Anyway, regardless of the creepy and sinister aspects of this movie, it's actually pretty beautiful and nostalgic, which is always the soundtrack doing that to me, but the music sounds very, classic, old, like something from the past, and I'm talking like 50s or around that time. It doesn't feel modern, but it actually works, and it gives the movie a very, I know I always bring this up, but a very 50s Twilight Zone-esque feeling whenever I watch it. It does feel like an episode from that show, except it's in color. It's like I'm watching an old movie or TV show that was colorized. Even Truman himself looks like a man from another time, at least fashion-wise. So yeah, it has a Days Gone By feeling to it. A town, a man, and a world from an era long gone. But also, when you look at the town, and man, what a beautiful seaside town too, it really does look like a movie set, even though the town itself is real. But it really works for the movie. It gives off an artificial, fake, and too clean look to it. It's like they were going for a fake town that almost looks real, but it's just too smooth, too clean, too crisp. It doesn't look lived in, and it works for the fakeness that I think they were going for here. A very good idea indeed. Eventually, Truman's suspicions do grow bigger, and he's really feeling that he's losing his mind at this point, and I wouldn't blame him. So he tells his best friend Lewis that he's being followed or something's going on, and, he's not wrong, but, at the same time, the frustrating and sad feeling to it is Lewis is an actor. He's in on this, and he's just playing along with Truman. He's just listening to Truman go on and on all the while. He knows what's going on, but he won't tell Truman. Just like the wife, who he also talks to about the same feelings he's having, but she just keeps ignoring him and brings up more ads, going on like a person in an ad, and Truman's just like, what the hell is wrong with you? What are you talking about? He doesn't realize what she's doing, she's doing that for the viewers of the show. So when she's, showing off products, that's for the viewers at home, and maybe they'll want to buy it, and that's how they're making money, and it makes sense, but it's also very out of place and weird. And at one point, Truman hides at night when the director notices that he's not in his bed and is actually hiding from everybody. So this surreal moment when he says, turn on the lights, and it goes from night to day in a matter of seconds, even going as far as turning the show off from the public. It's so crazy and really cool, actually. However, through all this, all of these lies, and these actors, there is one person that doesn't behave like an actor and is very real and upfront to Truman, telling him that this is all fake, you're a star in a TV show. And that's Sylvia, who was romantically involved with him early in his life, but Hannah, his wife, takes over and becomes his partner. But this girl, Sylvia, she tells him, Truman, this sand that you're on, the sky, the water, everything, it's all fake. It's all a facade. And then, what do you know, a guy shows up in a car and takes her away, and she's kicked out of the show for spilling the secrets, and Truman is just like confused. He has no idea what's going on, but then he hides from the town. It's just wonderful writing. I love it. It's really, really great. It keeps you like hooked. And every time I watch this movie, I just gotta watch it from beginning to end. It's a really beautiful, weird, unique kind of movie. But don't worry, it has a happy ending. He eventually beats his fear of water. He takes a boat out to the sea, And this awesome moment when the director, he can control everything. He can control the weather. He can also control the waves of the sea. And, you know, as Truman is going out to the sea, the director's like, okay, we're going to make these waves bigger. And he's almost trying to kill Truman at this point. He's making these waves like aggressive. And he wants Truman to come back. He's not letting him escape. He's making these waves very, very, like I said, aggressive and dangerous. But then what do you know? As Truman keeps going and going and going, he crashes into the dome's wall, which you can see has these clouds painted onto it, and it's pretty trippy to say the least, which can be said for the whole movie. And I think out of all Jim Carrey movies, this is one of my all-time favorites of his. It's something that's very different and unique, something you may not expect from Carrey, or something that doesn't typecast him as this cartoon come to life. No, he can really pull off drama, emotion, and fear really, really well, all the while still having comedic elements. It all works very smoothly. I could say 100 more things about The Truman Show, and I'm not even close to giving it justice, but please watch it. It's fantastic, it's weird, it's different, wonderful storytelling, wonderful writing and directing. It's a beautiful movie from start to finish, and like I said, every time I watch it, I have to finish it. It's very engaging, and I think if you want a movie that's thought-provoking, unique, really out there, and maybe even inspiring, watch this, because I think it will make you feel something, such as fear that your whole life is a lie. Anyway, thank you for watching, and if I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.